I'm Will Buchanan, and I'm walking all the way across the country to New Hampshire in search of more freedom on a project called the Walk for Liberty. Today is October 12th, 2008, day 160. I must be getting into the outer suburbs of Chicago. I'm pretty much now passing from town into town with no rest in between. In my directions, Brooke had written down Lincoln for Lincoln. I don't think it was an accident. I've seen lots of signs around these recent towns encouraging people to conserve water. I just entered the political delineation of Cook County, which is where Chicago is located. Unfortunately, I didn't record it, but there was also a sign previously which talked about odd-even rules for outdoor water usage. I'm assuming that means something like the odd-numbered house residents can water their lawn on certain days and the even-numbered ones on the alternate days. And of course, that's all in an effort to conserve more water. With all the water shortages in different places around the world, I've heard people say that water is so important that the government needs to take care of it. Well, is food not important? Perhaps the government should take care of that too. Wait a minute. I think that was already tried in the former Soviet Union. And I'm not really eager to start standing in bread lines. Somehow or another, all the private grocery stores in the country have been doing a fine job of providing plenty of food at reasonable prices. So why is it that water is different than food and should be provided by the government? Well, the answer is that it isn't and that it shouldn't be. Government isn't some mystical entity which can magically provide enough water for all people. Water is just a product like any other in the market. There's nothing special or unique about it. It's subject to the same laws of supply and demand based on price as anything else in the economy. Government, unfortunately, knows very little about supply and demand. It doesn't respond to market signals correctly, so it often sets the price wrong, which can end up leading to shortages. There are organizations, though, which respond very well to market signals and to the laws of supply and demand. And those are private businesses operating in the free market. Here's one example of how supply and demand works and how businesses respond to it much better than government. Let's say there is a water shortage. Because the supply is down, the price of water will go up. You might say that that's unfair and that people then won't be able to afford the water that they need. However, without the price going up, people won't be properly incentivized to conserve water and use only as much as they really need. What government tries to do by punishing people if they use more water than it thinks they should, the free market does more effectively by setting the price correctly and therefore providing people with the proper incentives to naturally conserve the water. So in our hypothetical situation, now that there's a water shortage, what happens then? Government has no real incentive to find additional water sources. It might end up rationing, which doesn't really help the problem in the long run. However, in the free market, if there's a water shortage, the price of water will go up, which additional businesses will see as an incentive to make profit. The high price of water will cause those businesses to see dollar signs. They'll be incentivized to go out and discover or create additional sources of water. Therefore, the supply of water will go up, causing the price to fall down again to lower levels. The free market will solve the problem, which the government really doesn't have the tools for. The free market may not be utopia, but it does a much better job of solving the problem than government ever could. Government, with its rationing and quotas, would only exacerbate the perceived shortage. While the free market not only incentivizes people to conserve in the short run, but also comes up with additional sources in the long run. Would you really want one monopoly power, i.e. government, to be in charge of the water supply? Or would you rather have many independent businesses all competing to provide water to you reliably at the lowest prices? I walked 21.6 miles. Here are my GPS coordinates. This is Will Buchanan for Amazon.walkforliberty.com, signing off.